Well, I've been waiting for this day. I've been waiting for this conversation. And this is something that we've been having online as a part of our live streams, the constant debate around pay to win, monetization, and obviously MMORPGs. And this is no conversation, this is no discussion with any shortage of opinion. In fact, you can always feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments, in Discord. You can just DM me, say I'm like either smart or an idiot. Either way, it doesn't matter, because I think the conversation is the most important thing that we have, especially as gamers. I think it's honestly the most power we have as gamers, because at the end of the day, things are changing, and nothing highlights this better. And this is just something that I'm personally taking note of. You do not need to agree with me in anything I'm about to say. But note, this is something that I've been mulling over my head, and I actually hope to put together a new video for you guys called The Third Age of the MMOs. Pay attention to the channel here if you're interested. That's coming later. Hi, everybody, if you're new. We're going to just dive into this topic. My name is Brian. I completely flubbed the intro. Doesn't matter, because over on Reddit, I actually will include a link to the description if you want to weigh in on this meme. I ended up posting this meme over on my Twitter as well. Basically, it kind of highlights a beautiful Drake meme. New world, XP boosters, which doesn't yet exist. That's something we'll be talking about in future videos. Cosmetics, dyes, housing items, emotes. Oh no, don't want none of that. Lost Ark, outfits with stats, predatory currency system, currency exchange for in-game gold, RNG loot boxes, massive amounts of items that reduces the grind in every possible way. Yep. That's for me. That's essentially what kind of kicked this off. I've seen some interesting replies already just on my Twitter, but overall, even on the Reddit, lots of interesting replies. And this has been a constant conversation. In fact, even members within our own community who we've been playing with continue to kind of echo the idea of that they're waiting for the other shoe to drop. And so I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of explore these ideas with you guys as a community. This isn't me judging you. If you choose to spend money on a game, you're an adult, you do what you will. My line in the sand really ends up personally getting drawn when it comes to advertising to kids, because hey, kids, what kind of money do kids have anyway? Come on, guys. Like, my kids ask me for like all kinds of money, but thankfully they're only really interested right now in the gumball machine at the store. And just like a loot box, you know, obviously they would like maybe the color they want and they didn't get it. And that's a good life lesson for me to teach them, that you don't always win when it comes to these kind of machines, these kind of games. And so that's something I'm exploring personally as a parent. We'll explore that and maybe later if you guys are more interested. But to keep this focus around video games, the topic of monetization, and the future of the MMO, I think this is really interesting to highlight what I have been determining, or what I label as good game armor. Good game armor is a level of defense that is put up around any game that makes it almost impossible to have like a serious critique of said game. Not necessarily a negative. People usually sometimes equate a critique with some kind of negativity, and then I guess equating that negativity to overall hurting the game, which they love. So it's, you know, it's kind of like cyclical. That's not even a word, but I think that you got exactly what I was trying to say. With that mindset, with obviously that kind of idea that, so walls get defended and then conversation breaks down, and then essentially really nothing ends up getting decided. Companies make money, companies just do their thing. I think Lost Ark is a unique opportunity. I think it's a unique opportunity for gamers to challenge their preconception of what is acceptable, what isn't acceptable within an MMORPG, but it's also a conversation that we look at how MMOs are monetized and will be monetized going forward. I honestly, you know, I have to state this every single time because I never know if you've actually followed my content before or not. And if you're new, note that my preferred method of the MMO, my preferred pay method, has always been the subscription. I think it's the most fair to the developers. I think it's most fair to the players. I think it's overall, it generally, you know, in a way creates a community that's kind of all in it together. However, when I look at the industry as a whole, when I look at free-to-play AAA titles coming on the scene, I also look at this as a generational problem. I look at this clearly as a generational problem, and it's that of, why aren't more children or kids or teens or whatever, when I was that age, playing in this sandbox, playing in this theme park, playing in this genre itself? But they're being gravitated and advertised to, obviously, in that free-to-play mindset. I don't have to like it. I'm just sitting here being, you know, in a way, a bearer of bad news. But I see this as a generational problem and something that has actually impacted the MMOs. And that's kind of what the third age of the MMO video is going to kind of get at, is that with new investment and with success, and why gamers should be rooting for the success of these games, because essentially it then brings in more advertisement, more money, more investment, that it becomes a safe genre to have. And especially with the numbers that Lost Ark is just pulling on Twitch alone. And I hear all my, like anti-content creator streamers that Twitch numbers don't actually mean that much. Like, I hear you, but there's still the reality that some people measure metrics by that number. And I'll tell you this hands down, I don't think the subscriber number by my name means anything. However, to some people it does. And that's essentially kind of what I'm getting at. So I personally don't think it means anything to me, like it's just a number. But some people will look at that and determine my value, whether I should be invited to an event or should not be invited to an event, whether my opinion matters or it doesn't matter, based off of that number alone. And so there's a little bit of a correlation there. I'm trying not to derail myself too much. So let's get back onto topic, Brian. So with the fact that I see so much interest in New World, so much interest in Lost Ark, so much interest in Final Fantasy XIV, in Guild Wars 2, in you name it, these MMO genre, I think, is right now entering into its third age. What that means is that when it comes down to it, monetization is going to be a real key test metric, a real key thing that people will be experimenting with. And Good Game Armor, calling that back from me, that seed that I planted a little while ago, calling that back to the forefront, makes it very difficult to have these conversations, because Good Game Armor will excuse any potential bad or downfall that could be potentially associated with these things. Now, keep in mind, this is obviously very ethereal. New word, we're just inventing them here at the channel. This is obviously very ethereal in terms of how we have these conversations. I believe that if World of Warcraft as a game wasn't having bad expansion after bad expansion after bad expansion, I think Good Game Armor would have stepped in and people would have defended the actions of the devs. Not everybody, mind you. This is obviously, when we speak in generalities, I don't think it's everybody, but I still see that level of defense, and we still saw that level of defense. I just think Good Game Armor would have been forefront at that defense line, pretend like, hey, game is good, I don't want your real world beep, in my world. I just want to play my games with my friends and escape from my crap boss and escape from the stress that I had to deal with today. And that's where Good Game Armor comes in and steps in. And that's why this meme, I think, is so telling. Now, personally speaking, I know I get a lot of people trying to dunk on me because I love New World. I think it's an incredible game. I also am loving the crap out of Lost Ark. But these are two very drastic design decisions. These are two very drastic also monetization structures. And obviously, I think one of the key aspects here is that Lost Ark had an already established fan base that's been active on it, and we finally got it. Like, I'm a part of that. I was playing in Korea. I'm excited for it. I spent $100 on it. I have no problem spending money and supporting a good game. But that's also part of the problem, right? So we're all kind of in this situation, need to take a hard look at this conversation. We need to take a hard look at what is the right monetization structure for these kind of games and what we're willing to accept. And the reality is that when I look at it from a numbers perspective, I think clearly the free-to-play Lost Ark model is doing amazingly well. And I think with the fall of World of Warcraft, that's essentially kind of opening up the floodgates for monetization experimentation, but also for players to be able to jump around and do different things. Anyway, guys, I thought this was interesting. If you have any insight, if you have any thoughts about monetization, because what I keep seeing around Lost Ark specifically is, A, it's pay to win, but I don't mind. It's not pay to win. At the end of the day, like, who cares? And so those are the kind of the three structures that I kind of see falling around this game. And overall, like, I have to say, like, it's been an incredible success. It drops fully free to play on Friday, and so we're gonna have some really interesting numbers to talk about on stream. Guys, if you made it to the end of this video, you're amazing. And I'm just gonna say, like, wish me luck tonight. I'm actually trying my hands out on some stand-up comedy. I'm going to sign up. It's an open mic night. I do not know if I'm going to be able to get on stage. I'm a little bit I'm actually a heck of a lot nervous. So it's going to be something. It's going to be an experience. And I appreciate you guys for listening to these videos, helping me to kind of maybe get this confidence to check off this bucket list item that I've had on my list. I'm not trying to become a stand-up like a professional comedian. I've always wanted to try it. So we're going to give it a shot and see how I feel after today. And yeah, thanks for listening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm very much looking forward to the discussion we can have in the comments or on Discord. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thanks for watching, listening, and I will see you next time.
A little off topic, but I just want to say thank you for providing me a friendly, fun, and optimistic community. Baby. Coming from an MMO community filled with toxicity, this is an amazing breath of fresh air. Keep it up, baby. Oh, yeah.